Okay, welcome to another video from Speed Up Your Workflow in Camtasia Studio series. Many video and audio editing applications such as Adobe Audition, Kdenlive and Olive allow you to pan the timeline, or in other words, hold down your middle mouse button, move your mouse left or right, and navigate through the timeline. But unfortunately, Camtasia Studio doesn't have this feature built in. As you've probably guessed so far, in this video we are gonna write an AutoHotkey script and make it possible to pan the timeline in Camtasia Studio. So let's get into it. Okay, here we are in Camtasia Studio with the most simple timeline possible. We only have 3 clips in our timeline, pictures of a dog, a flower and some grasses. If I want to move this timeline, I have 2 different chances. First, I can use this scroll bar located at the bottom of the timeline and navigate the timeline, but I really don't prefer to use this one as far as it's not really the best choice when your zoom is too high. Way number 2 is to hold the shift key down and use your mouse scroll bar to scroll through the timeline. This one is a good way, but I, as a pen tablet user, really prefer to have the middle mouse button functionality in the timeline. Let's see what this script is gonna do. Well, first of all, whenever the middle mouse button is pressed by the user, the script should obtain the X position of the mouse and store that in a variable, for example, called x1. As a matter of fact, when you move your mouse left or right, the X position changes. If the X position increases, it means that the mouse has moved to the right, and if it decreases, shows the mouse moving to the left side. So our script should be always comparing the first obtained X position with the new one and send the proper hotkeys for moving the timeline. So let's open up Notepad++ and write the script. First of all, we want the middle mouse button as the trigger, so it's gonna be M button, 2 colons, enter. The first task was to obtain the starting X position. So that's mouse get pose, comma, store that in x1. And there's no need to define the y variable as far as we do not want to check the y position. Afterwards, we've got to start a loop. I'm not gonna define any numbers for the loop, so it's continued forever. Then I'm gonna put 2 braces to define the loop. As we talked about it, the script should always be obtaining the mouse position and comparing that to the first one. I'm gonna insert another mouse get pose in here, call the variable x2, and go for the rest. Okay, I'm gonna say if, open parenthesis, x2 is smaller than x1, then send shift wheel down and sleep 10 milliseconds to prevent any problems. And then I'm gonna update the x1 variable with another mouse get pose. Now we've got to write the code for when the middle mouse button is released. So I'm gonna say if, exclamation mark, get key state, open parenthesis, quotation mark, M button, another quotation mark, comma, space, quotation mark, P, quotation mark closed, and close parenthesis, then break. With this line, we are always checking if the middle mouse button is released or not, and if it's released, we are gonna break the loop and return. Now I'm gonna copy this section and use that for the right side. So else if x2 is greater than x1, then send shift wheel up, sleep 10 milliseconds and everything else is great. Now I'm gonna save the script and see how it works. Okay, here we are. Now we can easily pan Camtasia Studio's timeline with the middle mouse button. And if you ask me, that's pretty smooth. Okay, that's all. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Hope you've enjoyed the video and goodbye.